on. So I'm going to start off with a little quick report here from just a couple of days ago where they said that they've got a bunch of whistleblower information, and then I'll close it out with Marjorie Taylor Greene saying what she found in that document. So let's take a look.
Confirmed that the unclassified FBI-generated record has not been disproven and is currently being used in an ongoing investigation. The confidential human source who provided information about then Vice President Biden being involved in a criminal bribery scheme is a trusted, highly credible informant who has been used by the FBI for over 10 years and has been paid over 6 figures.
So we're saying here that we've got a report. It's a credible source. This is who it is. And he's saying that it's credible because the FBI is paying them. They've been using them for a long time. So it's legit. We believe what they say. So Marjorie Taylor Greene had a look at that information. So that was from, I want to say, 3 days ago. And she had a checkers. And this is what she said earlier today in the press conference. So I just fast forwarded it a little bit because the front end of it's a bit of kind of waffle.
The owner of Burisma said that Hunter was stupid and that his other business partner was smart. He also said that he paid $5 million to one Biden and he paid $5 million to another Biden.
So just to be clear, folks, Marjorie Taylor Greene got access to that whistleblower document, read it in a skiff, came out and made notes about it. So that's the first bit there, and that's her just explaining it. So just summarizing for you. And these are her findings from what she read.
And it was all a bribery to get Shokin fired and end the investigation into Burisma. He also told the informant this is common practice in Russia and Ukraine. It's common practice. It's part of business there. That's how their culture works, that they will pay bribery money in order to get business deals done. And that many businesses, they take that into account. They put it in their budget, basically, when they're preparing to buy another company or start another company, that's just normal. And so over in Ukraine, for them to consider hiring Hunter Biden on the board in order to make their problems go away, which was the prosecutor Shokin, who was investigating Burisma for corruption and legal problems. This was definitely illegal for a vice president of the United States and their family members.
So just pull back the thread on what she said there. It's very damning. You know, hopefully she's got the evidence there, or she's got the report, and then they can just dig into the bank records to find the evidence. And they've said that already, right? So they're paying the prosecutor to stop investigating Burisma. And the people that were sorting that out was Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. And we've got Joe Biden on camera saying, I'm not leaving until that guy's fired, otherwise you're not getting your $1 billion worth of funding. Is that your recollection of it? Are you joining the dots there the same as me, Ed?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, let's see what Marjorie says to finish off.
The informant had asked the owner of Burisma if he was happy that Trump won, and he said no, he was not happy. Remember, he had invested a lot of money into the Bidens to make his problems go away. But he did say that it would take 10 years for all of us to find out the payments made to the Bidens because of how many bank accounts there were. He said at the time there were no direct payments made to the big guy, but in a meeting later, after he had become more upset as things were unfolding, he told the informant that he has 2 pieces of evidence showing proof of payment to Hunter and specifically Joe Biden. You see, I think what everyone needs to understand is that business owners, at least the most smart ones, whether they're good or bad, whether they perform their business in a legal manner or a corrupt manner, they always keep records of their business payments, accounts and receivables. That's how it's done. And this owner of Burisma kept a record, especially of the bribes. And if you're in an industry where you have to pay bribes to get your business deals done, then you always want to keep a record and keep proof of your bribes, because that's how you make sure you get people to follow through on what they're done with. What I read today is again shocking. just as what I read in the Treasury Department with all the SARS report is shocking. But we are going to continue following this investigation. We're going to continue to look into every single thing.
All right, that's pretty much all she has to say about that. Man, oh man, if that's actually true, but just pick on what she said there, just pull the thread on what she said. She said that they kept records. And the reason they kept records is because all businesses keep records, incoming, outgoing, whatever. But more importantly, because I want to show history that I paid you and now you need to do me that favor. Now, come on, this is what this whole thing is about. But she didn't say that she had the records. All she said was the whistleblower knew that they'd kept the records about that and that there was no chance that they would find that because it would take 10 years to find it. So she didn't have conclusive evidence. She didn't have a smoking gun. All she had was a little bit like that alien whistleblower guy who's saying, oh, I was talking to this guy who told me he worked with this other fella who saw this alien spacecraft and worked on it. Like, that's really what she's saying.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that she's doing this and staying on top of it, along with a few others who are doing it. That's good, but nothing is ever going to come of this.
Oh, really? You don't think anything will happen?
No,
what if they find those records? What if she is correct and they do find those records?
Because nothing will come of it. Because just like the Clintons, the Bidens are part of a protected class.
Yeah,
they are protected. You need the FBI to actually take an active interest in it, and they're going to pawn it off on. Yeah, well, it doesn't rise to the level of proper investigation.
I was going to say, how do you think they'll do that? There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But they have their little phrases, or they'll just drag their feet until the next guy gets into office, or they're just.
What about Hunter Biden though? Like Hunter Biden had purchased a firearm and made a false declaration on the form because he bought it legally, saying that he wasn't taking drugs. But then there was pictures of him smoking crack at the time that he'd purchased that firearm. So he lied on that form, which apparently is a felony, but nobody has picked him up or, said that you're going to jail because of that.
Yeah. See, with Hunter, there's so much low-lying fruit that they could go after him for. That's easy to prove. Yeah, he had a gun illegally. He smoked crack. There are a lot of things that are easy to prove, and they can easily get him for without even touching the dad stuff. But here's the thing.
The worst part about what he did?
Sleeping with his brother's wife.
Yeah, that's pretty awful. But worse than that is the human trafficking. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, trafficking people across state lines and country borders for prostitution, which is completely illegal. So Hunter Biden is a human trafficker. And so if his dad knew by association that he had a drug problem and he was getting involved in all of these things, it'd be impossible for his old man not to know about that stuff. He knew about it. So he knew that his son was trafficking humans. By association, you're guilty, man. If you tell me about a crime that you committed, or I knew about a crime that you committed and I didn't report it, then I'm considered an accessory to that crime.
Hunter Biden is a walking encyclopedia of criminal activity. Okay.
Of what not to do.
Of what not to do. Yeah.
Don't take drugs, folks.
The thing is, nothing's going to happen to him either. And
nothing? No. You're calling it. I'm calling the emergence. You're calling nothing on Biden corruption.
Nothing on Biden corruption. And there's reason because he knows stuff about his dad. And the last thing they want to do is put him in a position where he wants to start wheeling and dealing. Hey, I got some information on my dad. Could I cut a deal on my sentence in order to? They don't want to take that chance. And just like Epstein, it turns out knows everyone. And the guy kept a freaking diary, and nothing's happening to any of these people because these people are protected. They're not going to go after any of these PDs, we'll call them, because they want to avoid that word. I'll take a page out of redacted for that. We don't want to use that word. But they're not going to go after these PDs because they're all part of that protected circle. And if you go after one, it could unravel.
It's a strange satanic world that we live in, isn't it?
Yeah, and then these people look after. So there's a certain cadre, a certain class of people that have to be protected by the deep state, because if those people were to fall, that would be an existential threat to the deep state itself, because the web gets really wide really fast. And for those of you who think that Epstein killed himself in a cell where no one else have ever been able to kill themselves before in history, I don't know.
And the guards were snoozing.
Yeah.
What a load of garbage. Like, come up with a better story at least. Come up with something else.
You would think they could have thought of something, right? I don't know.
It reminds me of Sean Connery in The Hunt for Red October, and remember the communist commissar officer that's on the submarine with him is in his cabin, and Sean Connery strangles him and kills him, and he comes out and where is he? What happened to him? He slipped on his tea. He
slipped on the tea, yeah.
He didn't slip on his tea, you fucking idiot. That's like the dumbest bloody story ever. Like,
yeah, but he's Sean Connery. You gotta believe it.
And he was the captain. All right, captain, if you say so. Oh, that's funny. We're gonna have to use that analogy. He slipped on his tea.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that as well. All right, so you're calling it. Nothing's happening to Hunter, and nothing's happening to the big guy.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Wow, that's a big call, man. That's a big call. Here in New South Wales, I've been meaning to do this. I might do this over the weekend. Is I'll show you how the last 4 or 5 premiers here of New South Wales, so equivalent to your governor, have been let go because they've been found corrupt by the Independent Commission Against Corruption. So ICAC here in New South Wales has no actual authority. What they do is they investigate, and if they find corruption, they hand that over to the cops. And what had happened is these New South Wales premiers had been consistently found to be corrupt, and before they were investigated by the police, they resigned. But the police still haven't investigated them, but they were found to be corrupt. So, I don't know, one of these things is not like the other.